Super Bowl X, January 18th, 1976. A Cowboys player thanks the Steelers kicker for missing a crucial field goal. Bad idea, because watching from the sideline is a 6'4" toothless linebacker who's about to make that player regret every word. Jack Lambert grabs Cliff Harris by the jersey and throws him to the ground like a rag doll. The message is clear: disrespect Pittsburgh, and you answer to him. This wasn't just intimidation. This was the defining moment that showed the NFL had never seen anyone like Jack Lambert, a player so vicious that even his own equipment manager was scared to cross him. So how did a farm kid from Ohio become the most feared player in NFL history? And why did his career end not with a bang, but with an injury no one saw coming? High school gave him his first real test. During a basketball game, a stray elbow knocked out 4 of his front teeth. Gone. Just like that. Most teenagers would hide, get them fixed, try to forget it ever happened. Lambert did the opposite. He wore that gap-toothed grin like armor. A warning to everyone: pain doesn't change me. He played quarterback and defensive back, but his body didn't match what recruiters wanted. Too skinny, too raw. The recruitment letters never came from the big programs. Ohio State, Penn State, not interested. His mother told friends that Jack was built for storms. The local paper called it farm boy strength. But Lambert, he just called it life. 1970. Jack Lambert arrives at Kent State as a long shot. No set position, no expectations. Just a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. Coaches tried him at defensive end first. His speed was there, but at 205 pounds, he wasn't built for the position. Then in 1972, everything changed. The starting middle linebacker quit mid-season. Head coach Don James made a gamble: move Lambert to the heart of the defense. It was the decision that changed football history. Lambert's first games at middle linebacker revealed something scouts had missed: instinct, pure, raw instinct. He read plays before the snap, shot gaps, covered ground sideline to sideline like he had a GPS in his head. His teammates noticed immediately. 2 of them, Nick Saban and Gary Pinkel. Future coaching legends who would later say, Lambert's intensity changed the entire team's culture. Against Toledo, Lambert racked up 29 tackles, a school record that still stands today. Kent State rode that wave to their first MAC title, first major bowl appearance.
Well, I felt that in the first half, we were intimidated a little bit, and the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't supposed to be intimidated. We're supposed to be intimidated.
The Tangerine Bowl, where Lambert earned defensive MVP honors. Over his college career, 593 tackles. By 1977, his jersey was retired. The kid who was too small for the big schools had become one of the most feared defenders in college football. But pro scouts, they still had doubts. 1974 NFL Draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers are building something special. They've already selected Lynn Swann and John Stallworth. Then with the 46th pick, they called Jack Lambert's name. Draft analysts shrugged. Scouting reports all said the same thing: 6 feet 4 inches, 220 pounds. Too lean for middle linebacker. Won't survive NFL punishment. But Pittsburgh's front office saw the Kent State tape. They saw the instincts, the aggression, the way he commanded a defense like a field general. Opportunity came fast. Starting linebacker Henry Davis went down with a preseason injury. Suddenly, the rookie from Mantua was thrown into the middle of the NFL's toughest defense. Lambert played every snap like it was his last, chasing ball carriers sideline to sideline, barking out calls, setting a tone that even veterans respected. By October, it was clear the Steelers hadn't found a stopgap. They'd found the heart of their defense for the next decade. Lambert led the team in tackles. His rookie year, he outworked everyone in the film room, played with a ferocity that set him apart even on a roster full of future Hall of Famers. At season's end, Defensive Rookie of the Year, the first middle linebacker to win it in years. Then came Super Bowl IX. Lambert's presence helped shut down the Minnesota Vikings and deliver Pittsburgh's first championship. Jack Lambert was here to stay. Fall of 1976. The Pittsburgh Steelers looked done. Terry Bradshaw was sidelined with a broken wrist. The offense couldn't score. Fresh off 2 Super Bowl wins, they sat at 1-4. Headlines declared the dynasty dead. The city of Pittsburgh grumbled. Inside the locker room, Jack Lambert's voice cut through the noise. He didn't want excuses. He didn't accept pity. He demanded every man on defense play like their jobs were on the line. What happened next became NFL legend. Over the next 9 games, the Steelers' defense unleashed a run that's still talked about today. 5 shutouts, only 28 points allowed total. Opponents crossed the 50-yard line and found nothing but pain. Lambert prowled the middle like a predator. 145 tackles that season, 8 fumble recoveries. Teammates said his pregame speeches left them shaking. Part threat, part promise. He demanded more, then delivered it himself. Flying sideline to sideline, barking out assignments, daring anyone to test his territory. 9 straight wins. Playoff berth secured. At season's end, Lambert was named NFL Defensive Player of the Year, the first Steeler ever to claim that honor. He wasn't just a linebacker anymore. He was a force of nature, the man who refused to let the season die. In a league built on intimidation, nobody did it better. The prototype was Dick Butkus and Ray Nitschke, big, mean, downhill run stoppers who planted themselves in the middle and waited for contact. Lambert changed the entire blueprint. Defensive coordinator Bud Carson built a scheme that would later evolve into the Tampa 2. It required speed, disguise, and adaptability, and Lambert was the perfect centerpiece. One snap, he'd be blitzing the A-gap. The next, he'd float back 20 yards, reading the quarterback's eyes, baiting mistakes. Career numbers, 1,479 tackles, 28 interceptions. Let that sink in. 28 interceptions for a middle linebacker. But it was how he did it that changed the position forever. Receivers crossing the middle found no safe haven. Tight ends became targets for Lambert's long reach and anticipation. Running backs who slipped through the line met a linebacker who could tackle at full sprint without losing leverage. Super Bowl 13 against the Cowboys. Lambert's fingerprints everywhere. Timely tackles, line adjustments, a presence that forced Roger Staubach to think twice before testing the middle. Final score, 35-31 Steelers. Super Bowl 14 against the Rams. The score tight in the 4th quarter. Rams threatening, Lambert drops into coverage and snatches a game-sealing interception. Dynasty complete, 4 rings in 6 years. Lambert wasn't just a product of the scheme. He was the reason it worked. In an era of giants, he played like a chess grandmaster with a linebacker's snarl. Modern defensive coordinators still study that old Steelers film. Ray Lewis called him the toughest ever. Luke Kuechly studied his tape. Fox Sports polls rank him as football's most intimidating figure. The number 58, unofficially retired by Pittsburgh. Everyone knows that jersey belongs to Lambert alone. 10 seasons, 6 games missed. In the NFL's most punishing era, Jack Lambert's body rarely let him down. Stories from the locker room tell of Lambert playing through sprains, bruises, everything short of broken bones. Against Cincinnati, Pittsburgh's stat crew credited him with over 30 tackles in a single game. 30. But 1984 brought an enemy Lambert couldn't intimidate, turf toe. At age 32, the joint at the base of his big toe was so damaged he could barely push off or change direction. Doctors tried therapy, special shoes, injections. Nothing worked. Lambert played only 8 games that year before making a decision. If he couldn't play to his own standard, he wouldn't play at all. Spring of 1985. Retirement. The Iron Man streak was over. Not with a dramatic hit, but with a silent, stubborn injury no one saw coming. August 1990. Canton, Ohio. Hall of Fame induction. Lambert stood at the podium and said, "If I could start my life all over again, I would be a professional football player, and I would be a Pittsburgh Steeler." Then he added, "Let's get this done." Eager to step away from the spotlight as quickly as he'd entered it. After the ceremony, offers flooded in. Endorsements, interviews, television gigs, coaching jobs. Lambert turned them all down. He returned to rural Pennsylvania, coached youth baseball, went fishing, became a deputy wildlife officer, refused to trade his privacy for fame. While other Hall of Famers built second acts in the public eye, Lambert chose silence. The legend only grew. His refusal to play the celebrity game became part of his mystique. For Jack Lambert, Football was never about headlines. It was about the game. And when the game was over, so was he. Jack Lambert's shadow still stretches across the NFL. Modern linebackers study his tape not for the hits, but for how he read offenses, dropped into coverage, made every inch of the field his territory. 146 NFL games, 1,479 tackles, 28 interceptions, 4 Super Bowl victories, Defensive Player of the Year, Hall of Fame. Some say he couldn't play in today's NFL, that his edge would be blunted by penalties and fines. Others insist his mind and heart would make him a star in any era. The only thing everyone agrees on, there will never be another Jack Lambert. From a farm kid no college wanted to the most feared player in NFL history. From missing teeth and 220 pounds to 4 championship rings. From being told he was too small to revolutionizing what a linebacker could be. The toothless grin. The number 58, the man who made quarterbacks wear dresses. That was Jack Lambert, and there will never be another one like him. Hit that subscribe button for more untold stories from Kicker Throne. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.